All right. Hey guys, give me a second. I just want to make sure everything is coming up here. One second. Let's see. Yep, here I am. Awesome. Just making sure that I'm coming up here. So I want to welcome you to this 5 minute-ish Fridays. It excuse me. It truly means the world to me. I know I'm starting this 30 minutes early. I have an appointment later today that I'm going to have to leave right at about noon for. So I just wanted to, come on a little early. So sorry about that. Um, so one thing, like I was saying before, thank you for taking your time for joining these. They truly mean the world to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and start this 5 minute-ish Fridays. Today we're going to be talking about BPOs. And so I looked up some stats, and the industry studies have shown that brokers' price opinions, or BPOs, can be just as accurate as appraisals when compared to actual sales price. This is according to the National Association of BPO Professionals. But on the other side, even with good accuracy, a BPO can be off by 10 to 20%. So, for example, a $300,000 home, 10 to 20%, that's between $30,000 to $60,000 swing in value. So, the moral of the story here is trust but verify. And the title, the hidden power of BPOs and real estate investing. So just like anything that you get, a BPO isn't the same as an appraisal, but at least all my notes that I purchase, I've done a BPO, and they're pretty close to what the actual price is worth. So, you with anything, you've got to trust but verify. And as I always start these things off, these 5 minute-ish Fridays, I'm not a financial planner or a CPA. This video is for educational only. This is not investment, tax, or legal advice. Please consult with a qualified professional for advice. Any information that you get, either from me or from somebody else, just please always run it by your professional advisor, a CPA or an attorney. Just once again, trust but verify, right? So, what is a BPO? It's a broker's price opinion. It's the estimate of property value by a licensed real estate agent or broker. It's not a full appraisal, and it's typically quicker and less expensive than an appraisal. So, why are BPOs used? Lenders like myself, banks, and also a bank, um, we actually use them to evaluate distressed properties, support loan modification, and assess collateral for notes. And they're also priced for short sales and REO. And REO stands for real estate owned. So that way, right now I'm currently going through a couple of foreclosures on a couple of non-performing notes that I owned or that I own. I ordered a BPO on them just to kind of get a general lay of the land to see if that value is still there. I actually had one that actually increased in value, and the other is pretty much staying the same when I initially got the BPO a couple years ago. Um, so it just actually aids me on, is it feasible? Am I going to be able to recoup my money based on this asset, right? So types of broker price opinions, BPOs, you could do a drive-by, exterior only, curbside review. The interior BPO, full walkthrough, conditional notes and photos. Oh, let me go back to that. And just the difference, typically when I get a BPO, 99% of the time, they are drive-by. The interior photos, I won't be able to get unless I foreclose on the property, right? Then I actually physically own my company physically owns that asset. Then I could go in and get interior photos, and or actually have the agent go in and do another BPO for me, getting photos and stuff like that to evaluate that deal. So there's two types on these. So what's included in a BPO report? Property details. It tells you the size, the square footage, the beds, bath, the age. Photos, interior, exterior, if possible. Interior, if possible. Usually exterior. Every BPO that I've got had exterior photographs along with comparable properties in the area. And then it also shows you the local market comparable sold and active listing. This is the active, if don't ever base your assessment off the active. It's really what sold is, what you should actually be going by, when you're looking at these assets, either like notes or real estate, right? And then it shows you the condition of notes, the repairs needed and occupancy, whether it's vacant or occupied. Most cases you can tell if an asset is vacant. Right now I've got one that is vacant, and the BPO showed it, and you could tell that it is vacant. And it actually gives you suggested value range, between it's like X amount and Y amount that it would fall. And typically on these BPOs, I always get an as-is value. Um, that way, I know what it is as is, and then if I wanted to liquidate this property within the next 30 days, what that value would be as well. And you can usually get those with the BPO reports. So when do you get a BPO versus an appraisal? A BPO is faster, fewer days, lower cost. They're between $75 to $200, less formal. And the appraisal is more detailed and higher cost, anywhere between $400 to $700. And then if you're doing an appraisal on a commercial property, they can range anywhere from $2,500 to about $6,500. I just had a BPO on a commercial property that I was looking at, and it was rough. It was $5,000. Well, not a BPO. I actually did an appraisal because I was looking at buying that business. So they are very expensive, and usually 99% of the time when I'm looking at these notes or making offer on these notes, I always order a BPO just because, and then I also, I verify that information by using a third party software that I pay a monthly subscription to. That way I can look at comps too, just to make sure that, what the agent's showing me, and with just all my years of experience, rehabbing properties back in the day when I was rehabbing, when I was buying, when you had to know that after repair value, I can comp a property pretty well. And so I just want to, like I was saying, trust but verify, right? And an appraisal is required for most loans. Like if you're going out and you're buying a property for yourself, usually you have to get an appraisal and things like that. So importance for a note investor, it helps confirm property value behind the note. It's key for key for setting purchase price, investment to value versus loan to value, and then used when borrowers request loan modification or payoff, and also protects against overpaying for a note. Limitations of a broker's price opinion. Based on the broker's opinion, not always guaranteed. That's why I do pay for the BPOs, but like I was saying earlier, I verify that information that I get just to make sure that what they're telling me, what they're showing me, kind of corresponds to what I'm seeing. That way, like I said before, I always trust but verify. The accuracy depends on the local knowledge, and what I find is with these broker price opinion, the agent that's actually doing deals in that neighborhood, those are the ones that you need to get a hold of. They know that market. They know that market like the back of their hand. In some cases, I've had it where they knew basically like insider information about that particular street, where it made that asset more valuable. The more that not only for me but also for the borrower, right? That owns that property, but it made it more valuable for just everyone around. And then it may miss interior issues if drive-by only, and should be paired with an O&E. I did a 5-minute-ish Friday last week on O&E. It's ownership and encumbrance report title. So you just always have to do your due diligence on this. So as a quick example, here's a note that has an unpaid principal balance of $100,000. The property estimated value of the BPO was $120,000. Your investment to value is roughly 83%. For me, I like 70% or lower for investment to value. That's just kind of, and I'm going to be doing another 5-minute-ish Fridays on a buy box. So that way you should have clear goals that you need to meet, right? So when you know it's a deal, if it meets, whatever your buy box criterias are, you know it's a deal and you move forward. And if it's outside that buy box, don't do it. It's just every time I've done it outside that buy box, or even like when I was rehabbing houses, went above my maximal allowable offer. Um, that's when the margins are slim, and it just was not 100% worth it. So in this case, for example, I'm getting back to the investment to value. The 83% is too high. So the decision is pass or to renegotiate the price. So, that's if that was me and that investment to value was too high at the 83%, being at the 70%, I would have to be in a little bit lower, right? So that's where these BPOs, they actually help you to make sure that you're not overpaying for an asset. Some of the limitations of BPOs based on, I just went ahead and I did that one. I don't know why that one's in there again, but some key takeaways: broker price opinions. It's affordable, quick snapshot of value. It's a great tool for investors, but not foolproof. And always use alongside your title at O&E and other due diligence, right? So that's it. I don't know if there are any questions. I am not seeing anything. So if you have any questions, you can just go ahead and drop them in the video replay. Or you can just shoot me an email, larry@ljhinvestments.com, or you can call me, 513-301-1468, or you can just schedule a 30-minute call, talkwithlarryhoffman.com. If you have any type of real estate question, note question, whatever, just, please feel free to book a time with me. And then also, I wanted to let you know that I just recently published a book. Hang on a second. Let me see if I got... And I can't find it here. Let me see if I've got it here. And if you're interested, you could go, here we go. And if you're interested, this actually, it's Mailbox Money Retirement, turn IOUs into income you can count on. And the subtitle, stop worrying about Wall Street and start living on your terms. It's available on Amazon. It's only $16.99. With that, I actually have a lot of information within this book. More specifically, I have tools and worksheets. I actually go over a buy box example, and then I actually go one step further with actually walking through a deal on what makes it a deal, what doesn't make it a deal. So it'll actually help the person buying the book or you evaluating a note deal for your retirement, right? So, if you want to check that out, please feel free. Mailbox Money Retirement, turn IOUs into home or into income you can count on. And then I think that is it. I don't see any questions. And please feel free, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Here, please feel free to reach out to me, talkwithlarryhoffman.com. Or you can call me, 513-301-1468, or schedule your 30-minute call here, talkwithlarryhoffman.com. That way, like I said, we can spend 30 minutes to an hour. That way, I can help you move forward within your real estate career, or maybe you just had questions regarding a note. All right, guys.